Welcome back to the Yoga Chat. I'm your host, Montana.
I am your host, May, and today we have a very special guest, Michele Colella, the owner of the Beauty Boost Pittsburgh, which I'm sure if you are in the yoga world in Pittsburgh, you might have heard about the Taste of Yoga event that just happened over this past weekend. We'll have to get into that later because I'm curious how it went.
Okay.
I
Was
was
it?
bummed that I couldn't attend. Um, Michele has been practicing yoga off and on for about 14 years, and she started. Her fun fact is that she took over ownership of the Beauty Boost in 2020 at age 38. So just another really fun reminder that you're not like stuck doing whatever you're doing. You can switch it up as many times as you want to. Um, and that's it. Welcome, Michele. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking me and for having me. I'm excited to chat with you about.
Yeah, thank
Us
you so much
too.
for coming on. We're excited to have you. Um, so the first thing we always ask everybody is, do you know your big three sun signs? Are you
Oh,
into astrology at all?
yes, Scorpio sun, so it's must
Okay.
When's your birthday?
the 18th.
Happy early
Oh, nice.
birthday.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it gets less exciting as you get older, the numbers going up, but it's exciting to kind of like reflect back on the year and look at where you were, look at where you are now, and kind of see where you want to be. So
Absolutely.
your sun, Leo moon, and Capricorn rising.
Oh,
Love
wow. I
it.
feel like you need that Capricorn in there to balance out all that Leo Scorpio shenanigans.
Yeah, to keep this.
Yeah,
As much as
definitely.
possible, anyhow. Um, And then, so we usually just go into like, tell us a little bit about your background, yourself, how you found your way into yoga, into the Beauty Boost. Give us the lowdown.
Yeah, I'll start with kind of where I am now and work backwards since we've talked about the Beauty Boost. So I own the Beauty Boost Pittsburgh. What we do is wellness and personal development events for women in the area, really intended to bring women together over that common interest of kind of, having a growth mindset, having a wellness mindset, and being able to meet new friends that feel similarly about life but also like meet businesses that are going to help you with wellness solutions and kind of like solutions for your career, your personal, your beauty, all the things. So that's how I met you, May. Was
Yeah.
introduced. Before that, and actually still going on, um, work in like a corporate job, like I work a 9 to 5. I went to grad school for counseling. And then in between, I started a coaching business. So I kind of wanted to be able to help people, but in a different way. I was really involved in fitness and just really passionate about wellness and health. I've done fitness competitions, and people were always asking me for advice and help with their wellness routines and creating routines, creating habits. So I started off as a coach in kind of that like fitness space, and that led me to the Beauty Boost because I found them on Facebook of all places. So, um, so yeah, so those are my kind of big three things I have going on. And I found yoga actually surprisingly through fitness competing. I had a coach that said, hot yoga is really good for kind of like detoxifying your body and focusing on your flexibility, for competitions and just really kind of a test of your physical but also mental strength. So she suggested that I try some hot yoga classes, and I did, and I hated it. The hot aspect, which is kind of wild because I will go to Florida in July. But doing yoga in a, 90, 100-degree room is not for me. But out of that, I did end up loving yoga and, kind of like that feeling of trying to make myself be present while focusing on my breath. Because my brain is always going 5,000 places at once, 100 miles a minute. And, eventually I could get to a place with yoga where I would slow down and just focus on my breath and try to like hear my body and hear what my body was telling me. I have tried hot yoga a few more times. I still can't do it, but I do. yoga.
What, like, walk me through your first, like, when you walked into the hot yoga studio, where did you go? Was it in Pittsburgh? Like, did you walk in and you were immediately just like, fuck no, I don't want to do this? Or um, tell us about it.
So
This
it
is
was
my favorite.
Yeah, so it was not at a big box gym, but something very similar. So it was kind of like at your gym with your typical like weightlifting equipment. That's where I went to do my training. They had cardio equipment and they had a little yoga room, which they had regular yoga classes, and then they also had hot yoga classes a couple times a week and would heat the small room. So it was at a place where I felt really comfortable. I just couldn't take the heat, like literally couldn't take I was fine if it wasn't heated. So yeah, so I felt good going there. I knew people that, were in the class and everything. But it just like wasn't a good fit for me. But through that I found other styles of yoga that I really loved.
So what styles of yoga do you love? What's like on a day where you just want to do your favorite yoga on a Sunday morning, whatever you're doing, what are you going to? Where are you going?
I would love to do booty yoga. Um,
Fun.
Okay.
or something kind of the whole opposite side of the spectrum, more like a yin or a slow restorative kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So how was the Taste of Yoga event? How did it go?
Oh, it was so good. So it's a really fun day. It's 3.5 hours of yoga and then a closing sound bath. So each session of yoga is 30 minutes long and it's a different style. So we started off the day really immersive and did the drop sound headsets. And then, we kick it up a notch and we bring it down, we do yin, we kick it back up, do a vinyasa, and just do really different things throughout the morning. So it gives people that maybe are new to yoga or have only been practicing one style, a chance to try different things, and maybe try something that they were, scared to go to for a whole hour class.
Yeah, I love that. Um, it's funny because you've done so many of those, and we always get to come. And this past weekend, Montana and I were in a 300-hour yoga teacher training. Otherwise, I would have been there because 3.5 hours of yoga sounds like my kind of day. And you
Yeah.
guys always have the best vendors. It's just always such a good vibe. You do such an amazing job with how you um, just like network the right people into the right places. And it is, I think, like if your purpose is to create a space for like-minded women to be together and to focus on their wellness and, just their, not just their health and wellness, but like their financial wellness and all of the things that you include to make people have those connections. I think it's always such a great experience. I've never been to any of the events and not had a really, really great time.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah, you're doing a really great job with it. And I think like yeah, I just love all your whole vibe, everything about it is great. And I'm really proud that you're
I
doing it.
still haven't been to one. It's just never aligned with my schedule. So hopefully, not hopefully, definitely eventually, that's what I'm looking for. Um, yeah, every single time that like I see posts from them and I hear anyone talk about them, yeah, exactly what May just said. Like I hear all of that constantly. And even the like pictures and videos that you guys like the footage that you guys get from them, like it just seems like it really drives a lot of interest too. There's a lot of women out there in the Pittsburgh area who seem very interested in like doing exactly what you said, coming together with like-minded women to like just meet people and centered around, and betterment, which is really cool. When you said that you love booty yoga, it made me think of Sierra Constantine, which I know you know her. Yeah, she's
Hmm.
great. We should have her on the podcast for sure. I actually knew her. Before like I got my 200 hour, we worked at Steel Cactus together. We were servers at Steel Cactus together. She's like, I teach booty yoga. And I was like, that's cool. I want to get my 200 hour for vinyasa. Um, and then our like paths have continued to run parallel, but we haven't crossed in a while. So yeah, she'd be a really cool person to have on. She's such a great energy.
She is. She's great energy, great human. I'm just so
Mhm.
inclusive. I just love her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
she's
like her a
great.
lot too. I wanted to ask you because the last few events that I was at, I always giggle because there is this there's this very attractive man who has a big contraption that he like ties women up and hoists them into this thing. And I'm like, the first second I walked in, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And can I sign up for this immediately? But what is that? And who and where can we find, do they have like a space that they do this? Or is it just like they just do pop-ups?
Okay. Yeah, I'm so glad we went here. First time at the event, people were very wide-eyed, and as he is setting up his contraption, which is giant steel poles, and it's stretching. It's called Provilio. It's a Russian technique, and it is a technique where you're attaching, your arms and legs to kind of like little hoists and wires, and he coaches you through moving your body in different directions and different patterns to really help you, stretch from an assisted standpoint. It's assisted stretching. But yeah,
Okay.
I had him set up. People were like, what's going on with him?" And it helped that is a good looking guy.
The
Wow.
list,
Doesn't
I was
hurt.
gonna sign up, but the list on the clipboard was like 3 pages long, and I was like, "Nope, there's no way I'm getting in to see this guy today." But yeah, he's attractive, and like they get strung up by their ankles and their wrists. They're like just open,
Yes.
hanging, and this guy is just like standing there, like touching their body. And me and Julie were there the last time. We were just like, "Oh, well,
Yeah.
not yet." In a
It's touching. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, he's doing it with consent and not in an inappropriate way in any way, but my brain went there because I'm inappropriate and I'm horrible person.
And thinks he's really hot.
All the
Yes.
things definitely went there. But just because this is, going out to the public, I want to make sure that everyone knows it's
Yes.
consent and it's appropriate touching, that everyone has the purpose of.
Yes, I turned it dirty. It's not dirty. I did that. That is on me. Um,
But
have you personally been pulled into that thing? Like, how does it feel?
I have not. So the downside to me running these events is that I get to be behind the scenes, usually running up and down stairs, being the MC, making sure everyone is okay. And I don't get to participate in all the amazing things, which is why you typically see me at other people's events in my free time. So I've not personally been in there, but I have heard people say that it's very intense, but it does feel really good. And I think it just kind of depends on like your level of flexibility and also probably like your pain tolerance, as to if you enjoyed that level of assisted stretching.
Got it. Okay. So, slight pain if you're into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his
I did it again.
Oh, I love it. His Instagram handle is elevate.ops, and he's actually based
Okay.
in Ohio, so pretty close to Pittsburgh. He's actually he worked with Beauty Boost Pittsburgh first. He was first with us last November, and he's actually worked with our Dayton and Columbus and Cincinnati events. So he's really making the rounds in the Beauty Boost,
Very cool. Um,
and he's a
you
really guy and very knowledgeable.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
his name again?
His name is Mike.
Michael. Okay, cool. Nice.
So shifting gears back to yoga just a little bit. Do you still I took it there and now we're gonna bring it back. Do you still practice yoga or like what does yoga look like in your life now? If it's just like a little bit of a supplement or
It is a supplement. I am aspiring to make it more consistent. Um, I try to really listen to what my body tells me to do. And I don't have a ton of free time with kind of like juggling everything that I do. So I really try to make an effort to attend like friends' yoga events or friends' yoga classes. I love yoga outdoors. So anytime there's like an outdoor class or an outdoor opportunity, I try to do that. I love themes. I think it's just like a leftover problem from college 20 years ago. I'm like, theme. So I see anything themed, I'm like all over it. But yeah, I just try to listen to what my body is telling me that I need like that day or that week and kind of go spontaneously. But I would like to a more consistent thing, because I know I'm, holding a lot of tension in my body, and that if I did yoga more regularly, it would really help me, kind of like release that.
Yeah.
Do you
Do you
still
still,
do fitness
I
competitions?
was just going to ask that. You read my mind.
No, the last time I did fitness competitions was 2017. I started that in 2010, and for a while I was doing like one or two competitions a year. And it's very, very intense, and it's very time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cooking. It's 2 workouts a day for the most part. It's a lot of prep, and it's really, for me, it was a lot of unhealthy focus on what my body looked like versus how my body felt. And I think I did it like as healthy as possible. I always, just did it very naturally, never took any kind of like odd supplements or anything like that. It was a hobby for me. I love goals and challenging myself and learning new things. So I got to a point where I felt like it was like a hobby that was creating more stress on my mental health than, making me feel good for achieving a goal, and decided that, it was time to kind of hang up the clear high heels and start. I do so
Honest,
high heels. They come out. I've taken burlesque classes, and they go to burlesque class. Um,
fun.
I do have the sparkly bikini, is a just in case.
Yeah,
You never
just in
know.
case.
You never
That's
know when
kind
you're going
of
to need it.
that's
Yeah.
kind of how I feel about running half marathons. I've not done a full. I don't know if I'll ever do a full, but similar, like I do it because I love having a goal and having like something to be hold me accountable. But I've noticed even with just like half marathon training, there's like this fine line between like, oh, am I doing this? Like, is this helping me, or am I feeling hurt by this? Because I work out to feel good, right? Not to get
Right.
injured. So yeah, I can totally understand that in my own way. But I do love the like having a goal and achieving that goal. It's really fuels me. So I feel that for sure.
I guess I just pivoted that energy elsewhere.
Hmm.
Was really excited to potentially start a business, because that idea had never dawned on me before until my fitness coach would totally start a business. I was like, who, me? I don't think I could. I don't know anyone that has a business except for you. Wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know where to start. But I just had that passion for people with like their overall wellness. I never wanted to coach people into fitness competitions. That's very, very specialty. And I don't have like the knowledge or the skill for that. But I just kind of pivoted that into other goals, and here I am 2 businesses later with different goals.
Now that you are a business owner, what would you say are like some of the challenges that you face that obviously are worth facing because you do it? But what are some things that come to mind when you think of like what makes it what's challenging in owning those businesses?
Lots of challenges, different from kind of like working for someone else. But the thing that's important to me is like I get to wake up every day and do something that I like truly believe in and care about. And that outweighs any challenge for me. But I mean, it's hard. I am a little bit of like a people pleaser. I enjoy when people are happy, and I am a good problem solver. But sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, how can there be this many problems at the same time? But I think just, things that come at you that you don't expect. And questions that I've had to answer that I've, never really thought about before. So kind of just like thinking about all the potential things that could go wrong and trying to solve for them before they actually happen is probably the most challenging thing I would say as like a business owner. You're trying to anticipate all of those things.
Mhm.
When is your next event for the Beauty Boost? What's next on deck?
So I'll do a small event in December, just because we're coming off of, our big event, Taste of Yoga, and around the holiday time, it's really hard for people. There's so many different, distractions and priorities. So I like to do something small in December and then really kick it off full steam in January with our kind of like Design Your Life event. It combines like movement and workshops and really is kind of set up to get you thinking about, what you want your life overall to look like and what you want your year to look like, and then kind of work backwards from there.
What kind of vendors do you have at that event?
Um,
Similar?
yeah, we have similar vendors throughout everything. I would say
Mm-hmm.
our events are kind of themed each month. They either focus on like movement or something social, or workshop based. I guess like you would kind of consider it like personal growth, personal development, or like a hybrid of the two. A lot of them have become hybrids. Just because like the Pittsburgh community I found values movement so much, and a lot of yoga, quite honestly, that I've incorporated yoga into events that I didn't even think I would. Like Design Your Life used to be all workshops and vision boards. And I was like, you know what? Like, let's start the morning with yoga. Let's get in that
Cool.
mindset, of like clearing, stagnant energy from our bodies and really feeling good and energized. And let's like take that into the vision boards. Um, so our vendors and businesses that we work with are pretty consistent throughout, because we all have that same person that we work with is somebody that's growth minded and into wellness, and into feeling good. So we obviously work with wellness businesses, health and wellness, for everything from doctors and chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, like holistic health providers. We work with the beauty industry, because we all know beauty kind of comes from within and from gut health,
Mm-hmm.
gut health research. But we want to work with like beauty providers and beauty businesses that are helping us feel good about like our skin and our inner glow turning into our outer glow. And then some to some extent like boutiques and artists and retail and makers, and coaches. We work with a lot of coaches to kind of like facilitate workshops. And I saved the best for last, considering who I'm talking to here. We work with a lot of local fitness and yoga studios, and their instructors facilitate our movement in our classes. Yeah, so at
I
any
love those events. The
is
one we did at the brewery over the summer was so great because we were in Shavasana and there was like, we were in that big open space. The big garage door was open because it was like a warm day. And there was like, we hit Shavasana and some guy with a jackhammer just started railing into the concrete sidewalk outside. And everybody was like, all right, everyone, relax, Shavasana. And as soon as I said the word, it was like, "Rah." And it was funny because we all giggled, but still, what was so cool about it was that no one budged. Everyone was able to somehow still manage to get that 5 minutes in, and they didn't like, they took it seriously. Um, and I love that what you have found in all of your events is that like the Pittsburgh community really gravitates towards movement, as specifically yoga. I think that's so cool. I mean, I knew that was something that was a thing, but also I wouldn't like, would you say out of all of the movement that you provide and even like the fitness sampler, do you think the yoga does the best?
yoga is my most frequent, absolutely. So
Okay.
fitness sampler. I do kind of like a kickoff yoga, and then I have Sierra with booty yoga. I've did 2 tastes of yoga events this year, where the whole event was focused on yoga, and then I incorporated yoga into our day retreat, which I've always done, into our January kind of like year Design Your Life event, and into our new Women of Wellness event, and Hocus Pocus. We love yoga.
Yeah. So do we, and which is why you're here, because
Amen.
you are the lady that is bringing so much yoga to so many people. Um, and what's really cool is that like yoga should be a thing that everybody has access to, right? Like it doesn't have to be just one studio or whatever. You should try all of it. You should travel, you should go to the sampler, you should see what suits you best, because sometimes the thing you do all the time is great and you love it, but you might be missing out on something that you don't even know exists yet. So I love the possibility for people to go try all these different kinds and maybe be a little surprised by liking something that they didn't really even know they liked yet.
Yeah, or a lot of times people like, so you can use me as an example. I went into one random gym's hot yoga class and I was like, "Ah, I'm not sure this is for me, but I'm really like stubborn and determined to make things work. So I'm like, I'm just going to try a different yoga place and I'm going to like
Mhm.
thing that way. But sometimes people are kind of intimidated by not just yoga, but really like any movement. And they maybe try something once or try one instructor and it just isn't for them. And they get really discouraged. But I think it's really important to, kind of like have access to things and to be able to try different things. So even with all the yoga that we do at the Beauty Boost, I really intentionally try to make it a variety with instructors that I know that are inclusive to a variety of levels. So all of our classes, I really say, I'm like, hey, this really needs to be all levels, give modifications, let people like go into their headstands and backbends if you want to, but also, ensure that they have like a bridge or a safe space, child's pose to go into. Because, I think it should be, really approachable for all different people and for all body shapes and sizes and all levels. So I really do try to intentionally bring so many different styles of yoga to the Beauty Boost. That's kind of what I love about Yoga 6 too, and why I think it's been such like a good partnership is because you all have so many different styles of classes and so many different times of day, and you do fun themes and fun events. So I think that's why it's really connected well with the Beauty Booth because you offer so much variety and are so welcoming to like people of all levels that and all different styles.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that because our whole like Yoga Six as a corporate, entity, their whole vibe is to make yoga as approachable as possible for anybody that wants to come. So the way that we learn how to teach, any teacher that gets hired at Yoga 6 has to go through an additional training with Yoga 6 because there's a specific way we use language to coach people into postures instead of just kind of like saying a yoga pose name because if you're new to yoga, you might not know what that means. And then you're just standing there on your mat and you're like, what do I do? Everyone else knows what to do and I don't know what to
Mhm.
do. So it kind of takes the anxiety out of being a new person in yoga the way that we approach it. So it's definitely something that we all like and we all go to each other's classes and give each other feedback and we kind of keep on each other about learning and making sure that we're like doing our best to offer yoga in the most accessible way we can, which is a work in progress always, but it's something we take really seriously.
I love that.
I also, another thing that I love about what you offer and what you stand for is not only is like the taste of yoga and the fitness sampler and a great opportunity for the individual or the student to get to try different types of yoga or different studios, but it's an opportunity for the studios to come together because everything that you were just describing, like that's yoga and like collaboration and connection and the opposite of separation, inclusiveness, right? Like true inclusiveness. And so often, to no fault to anyone, I watch studios, and I'm a part of studios get like kind of wrapped up in their own little bubble. And recently, I've heard a couple different students say to me like, "Oh, it's hard to choose." And I've been thinking like, why do you have to choose? Like you don't have to choose. Like someone said to me today actually like there shouldn't be loyalty in yoga studios. Like you can have your quote unquote home, but that doesn't mean that you can't go practice at other places, especially if you want to. So, and that shouldn't be doing anything, it's not doing anything wrong. And so that's what I love too, is that the events that you're putting on are an opportunity for like the communities to come together and remember that like what we're doing we're all headed to the same destination, just on different paths to get there. And so like there shouldn't have to be competition or like weirdness or, any sort of like icky awkwardness because what someone needs one day isn't going to be what they need the next, or might not be what they need the next. And what someone needs at one season in their life is probably going to be different than what they need at the different season of their life. And so having all of these different options and communities and genres and vibes like that should be celebrated more. So that's something I really appreciate about what you do. And like I said, what you stand for is really like setting all the bullshit aside and just being like, let's just celebrate the fact that we're all sharing movement in whatever way we want. And like you said, the um underlying tone of all of it, no matter what type of movement you're offering, is that it's accessible and it's for all levels so that we can empower more people to feel less intimidated to do it.
Absolutely. You bring up so many good points. It's like you're reading my mind. There is someone like a business out there, a studio out there that isn't about collaboration, and they're not welcome with the beauty boost because we're about working together and helping each other. Because like honestly, we can't do this alone. I mean, like you said, you move along different phases of your life and you need different things. There's so many great different types of movement. We should be able to select from different things. Maybe you can take walks at home and go to a studio for yoga and maybe hit up some, weights in your basement or something like that. We all need these different things to stay healthy and stay strong and to, nourish our bodies in different ways. So I've seen so many really cool collaborations, come out of our events, yoga studios with cycling studios, yoga studios with boxing studios, all these different cool collaborations that shows that, we're recognizing the value in each other and there's room for more than one.
Yeah, there's
Always.
room. I like that. There
There's
is.
room for all of it. All of it.
Yeah.
And it's cool because as coaches or as instructors or as teachers or as wellness enthusiasts, we all are looking to go to the same place. Like Montana said, we all want the same things. We all want to either be empowered or empower others and move and stay healthy. And I think that those values are shared by so many people that but it can get clouded with either like competition or ego. And so to have more businesses like yours that use collaboration as like one of the foundations of what you do. I just
Mhm.
think it kind of is a good reminder to everybody that like this is what when you get into this industry, it's not easy. There's a lot of challenges, but also we all when it all comes down to is we all got here because we all value at least some of the same things. And that's always a good reminder to not get lost in the ego part and remember what which is funny because we just talked about values and ethics in our 300-hour over the weekend, which led into some deep, dark discussions of
Vulnerable.
so many things. But when it comes down to it, the things like at your core values really, um, if you ever start to feel lost in the ego or the competition or wherever you're at, just come back to that. Just like take a piece of paper out and do what Montana made us do. Write down like 3 to 5 of your core values and then just like sit with it and just ruminate on it. And then see if what you're doing every day is in alignment with those or if you are straying. And then you might find a lot of interesting things.
Yeah. I love a good values assessment. And then
Hmm.
jump off from a values assessment is, how are you spending your time versus what are the things that you love to do and are passionate about? And then taking a look at those two lists and see if they align and seeing where there's a mismatch.
Hmm. Absolutely.
For sure. I feel like it's time for our final question. How do you feel about that, May? Do you have any other specific questions?
No, I just like how we're talking about values and alignment, and I feel like everything we've talked about is aligned and our values are aligned, and so it just all kind of like came together.
This
So I
is
think
meant
you're
to
right.
be.
I think this is a good time to ask the question, which
Uh,
is the big question. It's our cheesy little thing that we always do, and there's been so many answers, so don't feel nervous.
So every answer under the sun.
Every answer under the sun. Do you think yoga can change the world? Yes, no, maybe, and why?
hmm. I don't know that I think any one thing can change the world. Um, what I think yoga can change are things within us and creating a community. And I think if we kind of like change those things within us with our mindset and being present and grounded and considering how we treat ourselves and how we treat each other, and using yoga as a stepping stone towards a supportive community. I think making those internal changes with ourselves and making those, bigger changes within our little communities create bigger change, which can change the world. So I think it's a good starting point.
Hmm.
But like I said, I don't think any one single thing can change the world.
We're with
That's a
you.
great answer. The juice.
The juice right there. So again, your next event's probably coming up in December, and then you're gonna kick off January with some crazy, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So if you guys are listening, can you tell them your Instagram handle and how they might be able to find more information about the Beauty Boost events?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Instagram's my favorite, probably because it's the easiest
Same.
to use. Uh, on Instagram, we're at the Beauty Boost underscore PGH. And then my Instagram handle is Michele Colella Wellness, which is quite a mouthful. I clearly didn't think about all the L's and vowels when I named my business. Sorry, it's getting rebranded and replaced soon with something much easier to remember. I would love for everybody to, take a look, join us. You can come to just one event. You can message Instagram. You get me, a real human. I have women messaging all the time, like, "Hey, I'm new to Pittsburgh. Can I come to events by myself?" And all the answers are yes. We have tons of women that come to events alone because they want to meet, and you get welcomed at the door by either me or one of our ambassador members, and they give you the rundown of everything, kind of make you feel comfortable, tell you where to go, and get new people. So would love if you send a message, come to an event, come say hi. Would love to see you in 2025, or maybe in December. Or December event's going to be pretty small, but maybe in.
Awesome.
Cool.
And for sure, if you are new to Pittsburgh, or if you're just new to like a fitness journey and you want to make friends and find some like-minded people, I would absolutely say that is a place to start. Everybody's super friendly, welcoming. I've never felt any different going into any of those events, so
Thank you
highly
so
recommend.
much.
Thank you.
Yay. Is there
Thank
anything
you
else
for
you'd like
coming.
to share before we log off?
Um, I think even if wellness isn't your community, although I know that your listeners are going to be big into yoga and wellness is their thing, but I just say find a community, find the things that you're passionate about. It can be a book club, it can be a run group, it can be a yoga studio, but just find the things that you're passionate about and find your people there, because I feel like it's so important that we have each other, that we have community, that we're not like doing this wild roller coaster of a life alone. So, get out there and find your community.
The
That is
juice.
the juice. That right there. Thank you so much, Michelle. It
Yeah,
was so good to
thank you for
talk to
your
you.
time. Really appreciate it.
We will see
Yay,
you. I will definitely see you at some point in 2025,
for
hopefully to
sure.
attend or to teach. I would love to do either.
Yes, would love that. I want to hit up one of your retreats. I
Yes.
Dwell Box, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sad I missed this. How did I not?
Beautiful. Yeah, we'll do another one in the spring or the summer of 2025. So I would love to see you there. We'd love to see you there.
I want to know. Please send me the dates.
Yeah, May and I are actually going to Tulum. I'm leaving on Thursday. She's leaving on Friday for international retreat.
Ooh, that's
I
exciting.
know. It is.
It is first time for me out of the country on a yoga retreat.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Michelle. Oh, wait, sorry, what were you saying?
I've traveled out of the country, but never for a yoga retreat.
You have to do it. It's the best kind. I'm like a travel bug,
Yeah.
and traveling for a yoga retreat is like the only type of travel I do where I actually come home and I feel like more energized. Like I'm like, oh, I don't need a vacation for my vacation. Like I actually feel like rejuvenated and like better. Not like mentally, not like my heart feels better, but my body's like, holy crap, I need to go to bed for a week.
I definitely get that. I've traveled for kind of just like weekend retreats, more like wellness, not so much yoga, and I've felt good after those.
Mhm,
I know what you mean of that versus a week at an all-inclusive eating at buffets.
mhm. Exactly, exactly. All
Coming.
right, cool. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you again. And thanks for listening, everyone. We appreciate you being here always. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye, Michelle.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.